alternate future of the world series. And well, as you know, the world is split in democracy and totalitarianism, with the totalitarians deciding to annex the rest of their puppets, making them a massiver country. But the Democratic League has had enough, with the American Union, which is all in North and South America. Not called American Union because of the United States of America, because it's America. And then we got the European Federation, Morocco, Egypt, East African Federation, more of the African Union, and South Africa. Why'd some break away? Well, it's more convenient to them. Well, or they wanted to go neutral. Well, these nations, I don't think they want to do necessarily that. But with some of the neutral states, it's going to be hard to mount proper offensives into some areas of the empire. This is a democratic empire, I guess. This is all of the democratic area. Well, they start their offensive. Well, they decide to move up in the south towards the Dnipro and in the north into the Baltics, across the Black Sea. And here they decide to move into Anatolia, and here they decide to move up into Levant area and Mesopotamia area. And they capture Cyprus, and they use that to make an offensive mounting across this area of Anatolia, with them annexing thousands of miles of territories, and they're still barely getting into the heart of this empire. As they manage to move into more important lands, a lot of the people are welcoming them as their enemies, I guess. Or are they welcoming them? I don't know. Well, they might be. It depends on how well the oppression effort of this nation worked, the Russian Empire. And with them now moving up into Scandinavia, with them deciding to mount an offensive in New Zealand, and that's pretty much as far as they get. But anyways, New Zealand's quite awesome, I guess. It looks awesome. I don't know if it is awesome, but it looks awesome. It has nice geography, I guess. But I don't know anything else about it. And now, back to the front line. Within this area, with this nation finally managing to make its first counteroffensive, and it pushes them back out of the breadbasket of Europe and back down in the Baltics. Quickly leads to a stalemate, which happens to be convenient for this offensive, which takes Ankara back into liberation, which causes a fall of the Anatolian province of the Russian Empire. But with the oppression being so good, people in Siberia don't even know there's a war. They're being told that their soldiers are being brought for a training exercise, or they're being brought here for a training exercise. Little do they know it's actually a war. And in the Scandinavia province, they take advantage of the mountains. They decide to offend in the mountains so that they have the high ground. They capture all of Scandinavia, and now to capture the rest of the Nordics, I guess. It may be strong, but they're definitely stronger united. And well, the European Federation was brought from a dictatorship to a democracy. It's still trying to de-oppress the people, which will take a long time. It's easier to oppress people than de-oppress. With the Russian Empire not knowing this on time, that they were going to start an offensive over here. They are closing in their core territory. But over here, they're not really in the most important territory. And well, they also launch an offensive from in the south. And well, it goes very well. Soon, they occupy half the nation. Well, the troops are allowed to leave the front lines, but they can't say anything about this war happening because nobody knows about it. Okay, only people within 100 kilometers of the front line are allowed to know about it. And once they know about it, they're not allowed to move. Fears of being able to go wherever they want will lead to worse outcomes. With the Russian Empire deciding their best move now is to move in. The Russian Empire is pretty much Eurasia, pretty much. And well, they move in. And well, quickly, it doesn't take long, but the full neutral alliance fights back. They planned on staying neutral in this event, but due to the fact that they were attacked, they joined the Democratic League side. And with the Democratic League flooding troops into, well, Arabia, Saudi Arabia, which kind of tames this offensive. They occupy a bit of territory. What they need to do is keep them back from getting into their core territories that they have oppressed the most. Might not want to figure out that they've been knowing this all along. With them trying not to let them in. And they basically trick them into continuing their offensive here so that they don't focus on doing offensives anywhere else. For now, this plan is a big success. Taking over this area from them. But this was a plan. Strategy because, well, they have more troops over here. They knew there was going to be a big offensive over here, so they just moved their troops. And used this to make a counter-offensive to keep them out of their core territories. You may think, but isn't this core? No, it was in always. The longest oppressed areas is this area. And while India, they invade there. They don't get much resistance from the people, but they also don't get much help from the people here. And well, this is where the front line seems to end up. In the core territories of the former Eurasian Empire. Not Eurasian, the former Chinese Great East Empire. They then make an offensive here, which kicks the Eurasian Federation out of the Arabian Peninsula and into the Persia area. As they move all the way to the Zagros Mountains and Caucasian Mountains to the north, here they decide to bring the front to the Dnieper River and up. And in India, they just continue north with hoping they'll meet these two fronts. With, before the end of the video, a nice Eurasian offensive is made in the north. As they manage to take Helsinki, Riga, and Tallinn back, and they manage to move back into the oil-rich regions of the Middle East. And in India, they push them back from Bengali. And away from Pakistan, basically. And away from Cambodia to the point where they're like this. They're still getting lots of aid into their places, so it's not a big deal. And well, that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Stay in tune for the next episode to see how they fall. Bye, guys!